Hello and welcome to the July TCL Teen Bakealong. I am Marilyn, your teen librarian, and this month we are making brownies. I have to confess, I don't really make brownies as much as I make other things. I like them, but I think it's because I just haven't dabbled in them a ton. They always sort of seem like just a straight up chocolate dessert, which is delicious, but normally when I want chocolate I get it in other things. But they can be pretty versatile and pretty fun. The ones we're making are going to be pretty simple though. They're going to be a good base brownie recipe for you that you can add a bunch of solid things that you want, maybe M&Ms, chocolate chips, that kind of thing. But we'll talk about that a bit more when we get to it. So everybody, tie on your aprons and let's get started. So here are your tools and ingredients. The dry ingredients are all going to come in one, as are the wet, which is going to be your applesauce and your vanilla. The only thing that won't be in your kit is a half cup of water, obviously. But for that, just grab just about any glass, and you can do that if you've got like a cup measure, any better. If you don't have a cup measure for some reason, you really don't need much. Just get a small glass. Most small glasses are 8 ounces, and then about half of that will be what you need. You will need a large bowl for mixing. The pan will come in your kit, and then a spatula to stir everything together and put everything into the pan. So once you've got everything gathered, let's head to the oven. So we've got everything gathered in our mixing space. So we're going to start mixing the two types of ingredients together. And we're starting with the dry, so just dump all your dry into the bowl. And if you want to give that, I'm just going to give it a mix to make it more homogeneous. You don't necessarily have to, I just like to do that just to make sure everything is easily mixed together. Now I'm not a baking scientist, I'm a baker, I'm not a full studied scientist. But in some recipes, and perhaps with this one, how you mix in the ingredients and what order and how much you put in can change the texture of whatever you're making. If you've ever made like some red velvet cake recipes I've seen, you have to mix things in batches because you don't want to overwhelm those dry ingredients, but that can mess it up. In this case though, it's totally fine. We've put in the dry and now you just dump in the wet. So we add in the water, we add in our applesauce. The applesauce is also taking the place of vegetable oil because those can behave as a substitute. It can also substitute for eggs depending on your recipe. It can also substitute for sugar sometimes. Obviously in this one we still have the sugar for the texture, but you can make a lot of things sugar-free or low sugar by using applesauce. And now that we've got everything in there, just going to kind of fold it all together. This will be very thick, which would make sense given that we've got a lot of dry and not a ton of wet ingredients, but that's okay. You can also be a little bit meaner, shall we say, firmer. You can be a bit firmer with brownie batter than you might be with cake, for example. Because with cake, you don't want it to be too tough, so that's why you always want to mix until it's just incorporated. But with brownies, they're a little bit different. They're their own thing. There we go. Okay, and there we go. We've got our brownie batter right here. It's about, as you can see, yeah, it's very thick. It won't be pourable. That is okay. And here is where, if you've got anything you want to add in, maybe if you go around your kitchen, see if there's anything, little bits you want to put in there. You can put like sprinkles in there, make like funfetti brownies. I don't know how well that would work, but you could if you want. I just chopped up some walnuts that I had in my freezer, so I'm going to dump those in there and add those in. I know when I was growing up, I did not have brownies or like bread or things with like walnuts in them very much, and then I found out it was actually really common. There we go. I just want to put in enough so there's a walnut or so in every bite. And my oven is... There's the beep. The oven's ready. All right, so I've got my batter all mixed. I've got my greased pan. And we're just gonna dump all this on in there. Oop. You want as much batter out of the bowl and into the pan as you can, obviously, but I won't judge you for leaving a little bit behind because you have to lick the spoon when you're done. It's required. And you want to spread it out. It's not going to stick to the bottom. You can see it kind of pulling away there just because the pan's greased. But you can still like spread it out to the corners. Maybe there we go. There we go. Okay. That is all set. Into the oven it goes. And we're going to let that hang out for about 20 minutes. So we'll start with 20, we'll give them a check, and then we'll see if they're done. So take this chance to do a little bit of quick cleanup, and we will see you in about 20 minutes. All right, so our oven timer just went off, so we're gonna take a look. Ooh, they smell really good, and yeah, that's perfect. Now, if these were a cake, what I would probably do is like check them with a toothpick, just to make sure. But with brownies, they're a little, well, I say that, and now I'm gonna do it. Oh, perfect. And we still got some bits on there. That is what we want. We don't want them to get too done. It's the same kind of with cake. That's why you don't want to overbake cake, because if it overbakes, it'll get dry and not very good. Same with brownies, and especially with brownies, they always end up a little fudgier than most things. So we're gonna let these cool. I imagine it'll take, who knows, probably about an hour or so, but we will just let them sit, let them cool, and then we will get on into them. So stay tuned. And welcome back. It has been about an hour. I think our brownies are nice and cool. They're also still like just a tiny bit warm, but as you can see, I'm like touching the metal, it's fine. Even touching the bottom, just because I think a warm brownie is really good. So you really just want to let them cool enough so that they're cuttable, able to be cut, what have you. Let's take a look there. Ooh, okay. So we got that good denseness. That's exactly what you want in a brownie. Ooh, yeah. That's really good. I really like it with the walnuts. And if you add in, I think, anything that kind of gives a little bit of crunch, it'll be really good, just because it adds a little bit of extra texture to this. Because it's really dense and chewy and chocolatey. That's really tasty. This would also be excellent with ice cream, or if you've got even just some caramel or chocolate sauce, just drizzle it over the top. Really anything. I mean, it's chocolate brownie. Like, you really can't go wrong. So that's going to do it for this month's Bakealong. I hope you enjoy your chocolate brownies, and that you added a little extra things to make them special. Whatever you do with them, I know they're going to be absolutely delicious. I hope you're having a wonderful summer and that you're enjoying our summer reading program also here at the library. Yeah, we will see you in the next one.